Happy, quiet.
Yahyel.
J-Lo, please mute yourself. Everyone mute yourself, please. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman. This is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 23rd of January, 2021. And today we have as our very special guest, the wonderful, talented, lovely, extraordinary, blue-shirted Jim Charles. How are you doing, Jim?
Good. I don't deserve all those titles, but thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just being silly. Today we have in the room, we have Dawn, we have Angie, we have Jim, we have Barbara, we have Kathy, we have Christine, we have someone who just came in, we have Sean coming in, Hester, Daniel, Ian, Yana, J-Lo, Lily Pad, Sheer. Wow, whole group of people. So, and if I missed you, I do apologize. So hello out there in YouTube have land. Angie, we're going to start with some announcements. Thank you.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody.
It's announcements. She's going to help.
The word is announcements. We are scheduled for our next class. It is next Saturday and next Sunday, January 30th and 31st. It is White Magic Level 1. And if you are interested, please email classes@hucolo.org. I will get the information out to how to register for the class. The classes are exciting, expanding of the mind and helping you grow. If you're interested, please, again, send an email to classes@hucolo.org. The cost for the class is $150. It's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, next Saturday, January 30th, and next Sunday, January 31st. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll start with some blessings. We will have Kathy go first, then Barbara, and then Dawn, if we can. Yes, and then you can just go right one after each other. So after Jim does the interpretation.
Good morning, everyone. La shnesi ushu na maparado jarashi dosha, mapale doshu esu deba elushuana, hokoro doko esu shua, medonigaru, tiamo dashe. Farosho tave mesanio esu adunai, shatario, mate maro konote paro, ushu shishante kosh, male duko, shale malo dosho hashadio, emano do tanashi edi malo. Niare noje bale matuki noro ashiano.
Bring all your troubles and woes to God, because many times, if you try to handle them on your own, you will just become more depressed and more lost. But when you bring them to God, you will have hope, because you know that He will bring you forward out of them. You know that He has guidance and wisdom, understanding, and His love will help guide you through all the darknesses in your life. So bring Him your troubles, your darkness, your weakness, for He will build you up. He will make sure that you get through and that you are successful and that you are able to stand.
Shataraki atakawapaki, kinata kotokoati ata, kishini apataka nashiti atako, kikapataka tiatokora patakini ata. Katoko wapata kiata hiakokwa, kimata kachiti kiata koaki, kuapata takire aparatoku, kirapata karatagata tiatoto.
Argue not with your enemies, for if you do, you will find that their mind is already set, and there is no way for you to change it. Therefore, treat them with love, kindness, and understanding. Be friends with the part of them that you agree with, and know that there is hope for all to come forth into God's love, power, and grace. Remember, it may be you that have some of the differences that are not correct.
Tashate se te obja karushito esim. Aba yakuta haima. Ze eo chikisha ekuto. Aika chichako. Chakata tikashi. As he domusaka. As how to do hua. Zind abalut yandigihu. Para atuska. Tandahu. Da sahuba. Da hama dawa.
Refresh yourself with joy. Find something or someone that will raise up your spirits. Do not live in negativity or sorrow or emotional degrading. Remember, God is with you and wants you to be happy, blessed, and loving. So pick yourself up, find a place for joy to be found. Okay. Very interesting.
Oh, that was very interesting. So we have some requests. I'm just going to read them and we'll get going here. We have a request for Sasquatch, for Elijah, for Arcturian dragons, for Tukur, for an angelic being of their choice, whomever wants to come, and Grendel, if possible. And yes, that's, and then Lilypad's requesting the Lemurians and Talos.
And Sheer, did you request anyone yet?
Who?
Sheer, did Sheer make a request?
No, I don't see a request from Sheer. Sheer?
Oh, he usually does. That's why I asked.
Sheer, type something there. And then Sean requested the Sanji or the Sangai, I'm not sure how you say it, the Fendorians and the Pleiadians, all kinds of beings there.
Oh my, there's quite a few now. Okay,
Yeah,
very good.
I was complaining there wasn't enough. Sheer, did you have a request? Well, maybe he can throw it in later and I'll yell it out.
All right. If there is any more requests, just let me know.
Okay. All right. So
did you say that there was Lemurians in there?
I did. I said Lilypad requested Lemurian. I think she means Lemurians. And then, and I don't know if Telos is a Lemurian or Talos.
Telos is an Agarthan.
Is he a Lemurian?
Telos is actually the name of the city where the Adamus lives, and it's Telosian area. But Telos might be a person as well that the city's named after. I'm not sure. But
Lilypad, she's in the room. Lilypad, can you confirm what's going on? These words that you've written, what do they mean?
Is Telos a person? A white Agarthan? No. I know that the planet is called Telos.
No.
What? What'd she say?
She just said no. So I don't know what she said no to.
Okay.
Okay.
If you can tell me just a little bit, Lilypad, that would be.
Yeah. Who are you? Is Telos a person or a place or a?
Agarthan. Can you hear me?
Agarthan?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Agarthan is her. Yes, Telosians are Agarthans. So he would probably be named.
Correct.
The person that was the species was named after. So.
Okay, and Sheer requested.
The city was named after, actually.
And Sheer requested Anubis.
Oh, okay, very good. All right, very good. Let me see who comes through. I know there isn't a Lemurian here.
Oh.
That's why I asked.
Okay, great.
Hold on.
Yes, Lemurian too.
I am Elijah. Greetings. There are many, many prophecies out there that have yet to come to pass, but they are coming to pass in this day and age because this is God's time for this species, for this world, for this upbringing of thought processes. Your evolution is close at hand with a new thought process, a new kind of spirituality that is closer to God than what you have ever been before. It is not like a tightening of your will, but it is a release of your understanding, a release of spirit, and a release of love that God is going to bring to you. You will be enlightened in a different way than you can possibly think that enlightenment means. Remember, this is a different age than what the prophecies have come from. They had to use their own words to describe what possibly could God mean with these words that were put into their heads. But now we know God is far more advanced than those ages past. And so when you hear God speak these days, he will speak to you in your language, with your understanding, with your verbiage, with your way of thinking. So therefore, he will say something now that will be elevated. He will say something now that can be taken into the future and made into a truth. But he is here waiting for his people to rise into an understanding of spirit that has not been accomplished for a long time. But remember, it will be different because your understanding is different than theirs. Your presentation is different than theirs. Your spirituality has been taught to you different than the way that their spirituality has been taught. You are someone special now. This is a time when the truth will come out in a different way. This is a time where there is technology, where there is understanding that there are those out beyond this world. So some of these things, these prophecies, these understandings, these words that cannot be explained will come to light. Now, this is also a time of new information. There are ways now to get information from the past that could never be received before, because there is technology that can read the scrolls that cannot be touched because they're too brittle. There is technology that can read the burnt pages of books that were thrown into the fire. There's technology that can read and complete some of the texts that have begun and not been finished. So you have a new age of knowledge, a new age of enlightenment, a new age of information. This is a time when everyone will learn about who they are in a different way. You see, spirituality in those days only came in a certain way, only came in a certain thought process. But now it is coming to all in the way that they think about God in the most pure way. This is not the same in every person. This is not the same in every way. And remember this, in the past, many different thought processes were not accepted. They were crushed because they didn't follow the way that the establishment said that they should be followed. They didn't follow the way that they believed the scriptures should be followed. They didn't follow the way that everyone believed, or the monks, or the priests, or those that interpreted scriptures. They did not believe the same, that they should be differing in any way from the way that they taught it. But in this day and age, God has freedom for you. Information is coming that is multifaceted about God, his love, his compassion, his truth, his being, the way that you can accept him, the way that he can accept you. Remember, there is no limit to God. He is integrity personified. He is inclusion personified. He is all things because he made all things. And why would he exclude something that he created? He will not do that. Why would he exclude people that he brought to this earth and put souls within? He will not do that. God is not exclusive. He's inclusive. God is not trying to persuade you to believe in him in any particular way, except that he does have virtues that he wants you to understand. The love, the compassion, the truth, the honesty, the understanding, the integrity, the power. That is God. He wants you to know who he is. He does not necessarily want you to embrace everything that is him, because he knows you cannot understand him fully, but he does want you to try. And this is your mission, to accept God in as many ways as you can. His truth is understanding, love, compassion, wisdom. What you cannot understand about God, you must let go. There are many things that you cannot understand. How does he create? How does he keep everything in alignment in the universe? How does he speak to individuals? How? Many of these things cannot be answered, not by humans. But he can do all these things and is part of all humanity. So therefore, grasp of God what you can. Hold on to God as much as you can. This does not mean that you have to change your life completely, but it means to understand your life completely. You must know who you are. You must be who you are supposed to be. And in this way, it will bring you a greater understanding of not only who you are, but who God is within you. You will see his joy, because if you are who he wants you to be, you will feel joy. You will feel understanding and compassion. If you are who God wants you to be, you will feel these things. If you are wise and know God in his wisdom, you will see him in a very, very different way than the world sees him, because wisdom is something that is not shared by every person and every being. Remember this, my children and my friends. He is here for you to become who you are meant to be. And as you are full of joy, he will be full of joy with you. And he will incite you, or not incite, but he will fill you even more with joy than you have ever been before. And he will prosper you, and he will enlighten you, and he will bring you to a place of honor so that you may tell the world what you know, teach the world, write about it, speak about it, sing about it, heal about it. So many gifts, so many different ways that you can bring God's glory into this world. And if you are the person that he wants you to be, you will be the best at that as you can possibly be. He does not want you to be less than. He does not want you to be following something less than. But he wants you to be leading, if that's what he has brought to you, and following, if that's what he has brought to you, and helping hands. That is not necessarily a following position. That is actually a leadership position, is reaching out and helping. If you are the one that is intending and initiating help, that's leadership. So do not look at any of God's positions as a lowly position, because it is not. As he lifts you up and puts your piece of the puzzle into the universe, He will be with you to make sure everyone puts their peace alongside of you and connects all of the things that are necessary to be within this realm and all the realms. Let his love permeate through you so that ye can open up your mind. What opens up the mind greater than love? What opens up the eyes greater than love? What opens up the heart greater than love? There is nothing that opens these things greater than God's love. Let him fill you with himself as much as he can. Oh, of course, he's such a grand being. How can he possibly fill you with him, all of himself? But he will give you what you need, when you need it, and how you need it. I know some of you are out there scratching your heads saying, I'm not sure what God is still telling me to do. Seek, and you will find.
Thank you.
Seek, and you will find, because many of you have just sat and thought about it, but you really didn't seek about it. But if you did seek, you are starting to find, and many of you out there have sought a lot and are finding a great deal. I see some enlightenment. I see some love that is unconditional. Unconditional love is something that I will always talk about, and I will, if I speak anywhere at any time, I will speak about unconditional love because the world needs it more than ever, and it's harder to find than ever before, and it's harder to maintain than you believe, because if you think you have it, you don't, because as soon as you think you have it, you will be challenged and fail. Maybe you will be challenged and succeed. I hope that's the case. But remember, there are many challenges out there that you have not faced yet, and many of those challenges are unlovable. But you must be the lovable person. You must have that love for the unlovable. I know I go on, and I want to get as much in to every time I speak as possible, because my people are important. God's people are my people as well. I want you to understand he is a loving, kind, and gracious God. More and more attributes and virtues than you can possibly imagine. And yes, sometimes he will do things that are not what you expect, because he needs you to be in a certain headspace. And sometimes it would even seem like he's betraying you, but he's not. He's just pushing you into the place you need to be if you are giving yourself over to him. It's a complex and very unexplainable way, but God's truth is greater than what we can possibly understand. And he's done it to me, and he will do it to you. I love you dearly. You are.
Sorry.
Yes?
No, I don't mean to interrupt. There are quite some questions for you if you're willing to take them.
One moment, please.
Yes.
I just want to add, before I conclude here, that God is watching and is availing himself to all of you. He, as many of you know, I can sit and name the people here that are availing themselves to God, and he is availing themselves to them. You feel his presence, you know his presence, and you are grateful for his presence. Those people that are here, that are falling under that category, I thank you, and he thanks you, and you will be raised up. You will be rewarded. I don't know when or I don't know how, but he wants all to know his goodness and his grace and his prosperity. He will not fail you. He has never failed me, never once. It may seem like things were falling apart, but he pulled them all back together again. It might have seemed that I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but he made it work for his good. It may have seemed that I did the wrong thing or I said the wrong thing, but he picked me up because I was obedient to him and made those words ring true, even though I thought I had failed. You cannot fail with God as your leader. You cannot fail in any way. Even though you feel that you have failed, let him show you your success. Let him pick you up out of that failure and bring it to another light, another level. Maybe you did fail him at some point, but he does not hold a grudge against you. He does not hold that to you, because he will forgive you and bring you to a new level, using that failure as a stepping stone to a new high, if you allow him to. God is great beyond measure. All right, I'm done.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. There's a question from Kathy. Go ahead, Kathy.
Good morning, Elijah. Thank you for coming to speak with us.
Greetings. I'm hoping you're not getting tired of me coming every time.
No, I'm not. My question is in regards to channeling. As you know, we have our practice group, and we've been all working really hard at our abilities. And one thing that's come apparent is that everybody seems to have a different reason or purpose for learning this skill.
Yeah.
And I would like to know what God's intention was for channeling and for why we should be learning this skill.
There is different reasons and purposes for channeling. Channeling can bring, the reasons for channeling are for information, for truth, for uplifting, for care. Let me give you an example. There are many kinds of channeling. There's the channel that comes through to help someone that's sitting right beside you. And sometimes that kind of channeling does not come through as being a great channel, but the truth is coming through. It is affecting them. It is letting them know that God or that you are attached to the information that they need to change or to grow, or even to be admonished in some ways, or even elevated in some ways. The other kind of channeling is like this kind of channeling, speaking to groups of people about honesty, truth, God, his wisdom, his ways. There's other kinds of channeling that bring forth technical thought, technical information. Why is that possible? Why is that needed? Is there someone out there that needs this information because the world is in a place that needs to be elevated intellectually as well as spiritually? There are some kinds of channeling that come through as just pure love and divine understanding to make people realize that they are worth it, that it is God's understanding for them to be there. There are some that want to channel for notoriety. But if they're honest with themselves, if they're honest with themselves, they have to realize that truth must come through before that they will ever reach any kind of notoriety. Some kind of truth, whether it be negative or positive, but some kind of truth that grabs the souls of mankind will have to come through before they have any kind of notoriety. And they can lose that notoriety with being false. They can also gain it by being false. You must be careful. God also wants to, the very first thing that he used channeling for was to speak to the prophets, to give them prophecy, to give them the word of knowledge over the people of that time, to show them that God is God and there is no other God before him. This was the first use for channeling, is to speak directly to the prophets. I could go on, but does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. It does help. The only other thing I would like to ask then is, because there are so many different motives, incentives for channeling,
Yes.
it gets confusing for people who are new to it to decipher who is truly channeling and who is just talking from their own thoughts. And is there an easy way for beginners or new people to distinguish the two?
Well, first of all, they must be looking for the truth. And if they're looking for the truth when they're coming into a channeling group and looking to see, or looking at channels around the world, if they're looking for actual truth and not just someone to agree with them,
Mm-hmm.
you must say to them, are you looking for truth, or are you looking for simpatico? Someone to be sympathetic with your causes and your beliefs? Are you looking for love and forthrightness and uplifting truth? Or are you looking for the negative, that which will throw you into turmoil and cause you fear and cause you negativity in your life? Are you looking for something that is above the norm? Or are you looking for something you can just understand and say, all right, I believe this one because they're the only one that talks to me as an individual? But remember, God works in very mysterious ways. And you must tell these people that they have to be also willing to set aside their own belief systems just for a moment to test what is coming through, how it feels, what it is that they are listening to. Some just,
how would they test?
Some just listen and say, that's amazing, that's wonderful, but they don't know what they're really hearing.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that they're looking for? So in order to test a channel, does it bring you positivity? Does it uplift you? Does it bring good information? Does it align with your positive senses? Or is it negative? Does it bring you down? Does it make you fearful? These are the tests that you have to put up against the channel.
Beautiful. Thank you.
When it is not of God, you will know it.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Thank you. That helps a lot.
Thank you. There's a question from Sheer. Go ahead, Sheer.
Greetings, Elijah. How are you?
Greetings. I'm well.
I want to share with you something and see what it is that you get your reaction about something. 10 days ago, on the 13th, on the early morning of the 13th of January, I had a conscious dream later on, I woke up from that dream. I was not exactly in a hypnagogia state, somewhere between conscious and dream, but I was very calm and aware. And I started conscious channeling with God. It kind of felt, I have some experience with channeling, but never something of that sort. It was like feeling a certain vibration, and then it was kind of like not exactly my own voice in my mind. It was a bit different. It's not like hearing a voice outside of myself. And one of the things that I was able to get, first of all, it felt very truthful, and I was very surprised from the reactions and the answers that I got from God. But what I could have make of that is that he said that it has to do with the special energies of the December to March or something of that nature. And also, I fell asleep. I had another conscious dream. I woke up. I had a conscious channeler. Fell asleep. A conscious dream. It was something that I haven't experienced, like having a dream that I'm conscious and a dream within a dream afterwards, and another conscious journey. It was a very interesting, should I say, early morning.
Very well. You realize that's a 10-day. The numbers of that date add up to 10, and that means a new beginning. A new beginning for you, plus also God is speaking to you in a different way through the different dimensions that you will be working in and with. You are not a single dimensional person, but a multi-dimensional person. And then many of you out there are multi-dimensional as well. And so having that happen on a 10-day, which is the new beginning day, is telling me that he is allowing you to perceive the future in some ways. He is allowing you to step into the consciousness of the future, which I spoke about earlier today. The consciousness of the future is with us now, and it is going to make itself very apparent. God is going to bring the future to your mind. He is going to bring the future to your understanding. He is going to bring technology to you. He's going to bring spirituality to you. He's going to bring things that are almost beyond your consciousness and understanding to you, and make it aware to you, and you will be able to know it. God is working in a different way now. This is a new beginning. This is a new era for God's understanding and for his people.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you get out of that all the things that I meant? Because there are several levels to that I spoke. And some of you out there will need to understand that there are going to be levels to the way I speak from now on, because different levels of understanding for different levels of you that are growing. And as you grow into each of these levels of understanding, you will grow into the understanding of God, a greater wisdom, a new enlightenment, a new knowledge. All right, I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's a question from Maggie. Go ahead, Maggie.
Thank you. Actually, I'm sorry, Karen, it's Safira. I sent you a message about it, but I think you didn't have time to look at it yet. Hello, Elijah. So this is Safira.
Yes.
So there was a channeled information from a channeled message passed on, and the person who it was channeled from, or the being, is supposed to be reputable. But since you were talking about God knowing all and being involved in all things, the information, part of the information was that Thoth has now taken over 90% of the universe, which includes trillions of galaxies. And there's a certain group of people who are trying to counter what he has accomplished, and they have 3 years to do it. I'm not going to say who they are. I think you know what I mean. So to me, the idea is that God sort of wasn't paying attention, or he just sort of lost track of how much Thoth was taking over before he finally did. And this, to me, makes God seem so weak and ineffectual. And I just can't believe that those numbers. I can't believe Thoth has 90% of a universe. Can you please somehow, if you can, verify any of
there is a lot of reputable people saying things that are unreputable. This is not the truth. Of course, God did look away for a moment, but he is fully back for a while now. And Thoth does not have 90% of the universe. That is all I will say about that for now. But I don't know why anyone would want to listen to this kind of information, because it has no meaning really, because God will win in the end. Even if Thoth had 90% of the universe, he is 1,000 million trillion times more powerful than Thoth, and will take it over without hardly a blink of the eye.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one more question, please. Oh, it's a completely different nature, and I don't know if you're allowed to talk of it or you know about it, but there have been some very detailed reports from Russia about some Anunnaki attacks in different parts of the country, and they're keeping it quite quiet. So is that false information, red flag attack? It did not seem like it was so crazy that it was impossible, because the news media was involved, reporters were reporting. So can you speak on that? Are you allowed to?
Yes, the Anunnaki did attack once or twice, maybe. But the thing is, they were looking for something. They had to clear the people out of the area because something had been lost, and they realized that it is buried there in the Siberian soil. So they had to they had to get that back. And the only problem is with that whole scenario is that they did not let the galactic government know what they were doing until after they did it. And so they're in a little bit of a bind with the galactic government for doing that, but it will all be worked out. They have not attacked since, I forget, what was it, October, September, somewhere back in last year.
Mm-hmm. Did they find what they were looking for?
Yes.
Okay, now according to the reports, they were soldiers who were forced to battle them. They were so terrified, but they were forced with their lives to battle them. Did they look like really tall, like giants? Can you describe what they looked like at all to them?
They looked like Anunnaki, but they were tall. Yes, they were giants, and I don't know what the Anunnaki look like right now. And I know that they're large beings. They have several different looks because there's several different species of Anunnaki on the planet, just like you have different kinds of beings on your world. But they have ant-like looking beings. They have human-looking kind of beings. They have several different looks, and they're all intellect. They did a lot of engineering with DNA, and so they have different species that are completely different from one another that live on the planet and live together. So which one of these particular looks came down, I am not sure.
Okay. Thank you for answering that question.
You're welcome.
And much love to you.
Yes. Thank you. And to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was the last question that we have for you, Elijah.
Good.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
I will let someone else come through. Much love.
Thank you.
Greetings.
Greetings. To whom are we speaking?
One moment, please.
Yes.
I'm Shrajan.
Welcome, Shrajan.
I am from the Lemurian cultures,
Welcome.
which still exist at this time, I will have you know. Not on your world, or at least not on the surface of your world.
Are you from a different dimension, or are you existing in a parallel dimension, or are you existing in a undisclosed location?
A different dimension, also underneath your Earth in a very small capacity. But we are out here around the solar system, not in it, but around it.
Okay. Thank you. There was someone that requested you. I believe that was Lilypad. Lilypad, did you have a question for our Lemurian friend?
Yes. Well, I wrote your name by impulse. I don't know why. But I have a stone that I was told it was Lemurian. So I've been trying to meditate to help me healing or connect. Do you have any advice about that? And I don't know why I wrote your name. It was an impulse. Can you please explain? Actually, I don't know.
All right.
Is there any message you have
Yes, the Lemurian crystals have messages within them, information, if you will, from many millennia ago. Some of this information is trying to be recovered, but some of this information is personalized for the people that find it. This information is non-specific for the regathering of the Lemurian crystals for the disc. Meaning this, if you found or own a Lemurian crystal, it was released into your world so that someone would find it. It has a message for you. This information, excuse me, this information is vital to who you are and what you are doing and how you are surviving and what you are believing. So Lemurian crystals are valuable. They're on 7 planets. And on this planet, they are in 7 different places.
Oh, yeah, that's 7. Yeah, I hear the 7 as well. I think it was in my dream before I wake up. I hear the 7. Okay, now I remember. Is there any message you have for me?
The message for you is that you must move forward in a very positive way and cut connections from the past because they keep you down, they keep you sad, they keep you in mourning in some cases, and even they keep you in anger. So this is time for you to move above that. This is time for you to let go and be happier. Look for the things that will make you joyful. Look for the things that might take you out of the places that you have put yourself into. This is a time when God wants to prosper you. He wants to make you a greater individual, but he wants to also make you into a different kind of being in a prosperous way.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. That's it for me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other questions for you, unless someone has a question.
Oh, well, then I will speak for a moment.
Please, please, thank
The
you.
Lemurian culture has been known by your world in your history, but it is one of dubious understanding because you are not sure that we even existed, just like you do not sure that Atlantis existed. There are questions and things that have been lost to time. But let me gather your thought processes together for a moment. All that you believe about Lemuria was true in many senses. We did move. We were in Atlantis. We are now, or we did move to the Pacific Ocean edges, and we are now subterranean on your planet. There are those of us that are outside of your world on spacecraft and in other worlds. There is a reason for us to be interested in this particular world because the information in the crystals is important. And we must collect them at some point and bring them together for the disc. The disc of those that are yet to come. There are 12 discs. The holographic discs. Some of you know of which I talk about, but others do not. The thing is, gather your information about those who come, for they are coming soon within the next 3 years. They are going to change things. The world will change, but it will be an enlightening change, and that is a positive thing for your planet. In the meantime, much diversity and much negativity will rise up and be part of your realm, but I don't wish to speak about that at the moment. I wish to speak about the gathering of the crystals and how powerful they are. And they are on 7 worlds, and we are going to all of them to reclaim them. This world will be one of the first. We must reclaim them and put them in order so that they will be part of the disc. That is what I wanted to share. Also, we are also looking at reclaiming or reformulating the skulls, the crystal skulls. One of them is made of Lemurian crystal and has a great deal of information within it. This skull has not yet come to light, I don't believe. At least we cannot find it on the surface of your planet. We feel that it might have been absconded with by another alien species. But if anyone knows of where the Lemurian crystal skull is, please let us know. That is all I have.
Okay, there are some questions from you, and I do have a question first. There is a belief held in India that off the southern coast of the entire country, there was a bridge, a land bridge there, going to another country whose name I cannot remember at the moment, but there were these floating rocks, and they're talked about in the Hindu scripts, and they believe was the bridge to Lemuria, and that Lemuria was there in that space. Can you give a confirmation of that?
The floating rocks were used for us to escape to where Lemuria is, yes.
Okay. And they were off the coast of India.
What?
And they were off this coast, they were off the coast of India, because they do talk about them in the Vedas.
Yes, they are still there, but they are at the bottom of the sea, and they can rise again when needed.
Okay, because there are still a few that are there still now.
Yes.
Yes. And then the other question I had was that we understand, and this is speculation because it's not proven, but it's the belief of many scientists that there have been many Earth species that have come and gone, and entire civilizations that have lived on this planet and then completely wiped away and starting over and starting over. And my understanding is that Lemuria was around before this group of Earthlings took this planet. And my question to you is, how many cycles of existence were there between Lemuria and us?
3.
3. Okay. Okay. And so are those the 2 that came after you, are they completely gone? Have you absorbed some of them? Were they aware of you?
The 3rd is still with you. This is the 3rd.
Excuse me, we're the 3rd. So the other 2.
The other 2 were different eras where, yes, the Earth turned, the what is it called? The axis flipped.
Yes.
There were populations at each of those first 2 times, but now with this 3rd generation of peoples, the axis will not turn because it is being held in place.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We have some other questions. JLo has a question. Go ahead, JLo.
Hello.
Greetings.
I have 2 questions. The first, a crystal, even if it's small and fits in the palm of your hand, can it contain lots of information, so to speak?
Yes, it can contain a great deal of information. If you understand that with the light coming into a crystal, the matrix can inherit the room inside the crystal and bring information from the matrix to the crystal. It is one of the few elements in the universe that does store information from the matrix.
Very interesting. Thank you. And my last question, often or sometimes I have dreams where I find crystals on the ground. And now that I'm thinking about this, I did have one dream in particular. I feel like I was in Africa. That's what the environment or surrounding looked like. And I uncovered a few crystals, quartz crystals, on the surface where I was walking. And at some point, I was chased by a pack of lions. So I went from feeling very excited and happy to feeling somewhat fearful. And I felt like that dream was symbolic. Do you think you could tell me something about that? Thank you.
Yes, there is places on the African continent that have Lemurian crystals. There are Lemurian crystals on all 7 continents. So these lions, if you go back and research, lions are not natural to your Earth. They appeared at some point in your history, and no one knows where they came from. They did not evolve from any other species, but they did appear as a species on your planet. They are guardians of the Lemurian crystals in Africa. There are different animals that are not of Earth origins that do guard Lemurian crystals in different places. So the lion is the guardian for African Lemurian crystals. If you get too close, they will chase you away.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Susan has a question. Go ahead, Susan.
Hi, Shrakshan. Is that the correct pronunciation?
Russian.
I have learned that I've had a couple past lives or multiple lives, but I know of a couple. One was as a Lemurian priest named Lyman, who was able to control or work with natural forces, almost like a magician. And then I also recently found out that I was a Lemurian priestess. If you have any information about those lifetimes or what type of, I guess, magic or what type of working with natural forces that they were able to do at that time.
Yes, you were able to command the weather. You were able to command the ecology and the animals. You could speak and command the animals to do your bidding. And the Lemurian crystals in your on your watch were the ones that had the information of the far part of the galaxy, meaning that they were informational to understanding the outer edges of the universe, which are necessary for anyone to control the universe at large.
Okay, wonderful. I currently do have a large Lemurian crystal, and I've tried connecting to it in the past. I've had it for about 15 years. Is this time, I guess, is the information more available to connect to at this time? And is there any advice as far as how I could better connect with my Lemurian crystal?
If it is a larger Lemurian crystal, then perhaps it has the kind of information in it that's not for personal use, but for use by the disk. And if it is a larger crystal, it may have some personal information in that was gathered by the matrix for you. But for the most part, it may have a multitude of information for the disk and for how the universe is formed and the algorithms thereof.
Okay, yeah, it's about, I'd say 8 or 9 inches long and about 1.5 inches thick. I mean, it's relatively large. So,
That would be one that I would think is heralded as having a great deal of information. There are larger ones by far, but that is a fairly large one and will have less personal information and more universal information within it.
okay, so I wouldn't be able to necessarily personally
You
connect with
may,
it, or
you may be able to find some portions of it, but you would have to be holding it in the right direction to get the right information out. It will not give you any of the universal information, but if you're holding it correctly, it will give personal information. You just have to know which areas that information is in.
okay. And are crystal skulls basically similar to, I mean, I know a friend that's able to get messages from crystal skulls. Is it similar as far as how information is stored in the skulls as other crystals?
I would think that the information coming from the crystal skulls at this time would be more universal, telling the world when they're going to come into alignment and where they are, etc. at this time. What kind of information are they gleaning from these crystals?
I think just more personal communication with some of the crystals, like smaller ones.
I see. The crystal skulls will have larger amounts of universal information and the information about the stargates, all of them, because they do control the stargates. Eventually they will. And they will come back into a clock formation with a central skull, 13 of them, and they will be the power source for all of the 12 larger stargates and 52 smaller ones.
Okay, great, wonderful. That concludes my questions. Thank you very much.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much. Yana, go ahead. Yana? Okay, great.
Yes, I'm there. I'm sorry, I can't start my my video. I'm sorry. I'll have to do it without. Thank you for connecting to us, and I would love to have some more information about the holistic discs. That's probably not clear to everybody what that entails.
There are 12 multidimensional beings that have come into existence within the last couple of years. And they have not made themselves known yet because they have to identify themselves throughout the dimensions. Their discs were stolen by Toth, all except for the final one. The 12th was scattered into the 7 planets and the 7 continents here. The information was scattered so that Toth could not collect the information from the final disc to have control of the universe. Therefore, these beings will come back into a high functional presence in years to come, and they will take names that will be more familiar to you. However, their names are not known to anyone in the universe at this point.
Okay, so the disc is more of a consciousness field or consciousness that is incarnated within a person.
The first 11 discs are talking about 11 different facets of reality. The 12th is all the algorithms that are put together for the universe. All the numerical sequences for all things, which can be manipulated if it is controlled.
So when they activate, is this more a universal thing, or is this that Earth is part of the universal fields is going with that?
Earth is part of the universal field, but Earth, you must understand, is one of the great 7 planets of origin. Not that it was created first, but it is the origin of something new. This is something that is well known in very ancient scriptures throughout the universe, and Earth will come to a full understanding of who it is in the future. These discs will be part of that understanding.
Okay, and about the stargates, are these artificial stargates or are these natural stargates?
They are created by the Orions from your first megalithic societies, the Egyptians, Machu Picchu, Stonehenge, and so on. Göbekli Tekli, or whatever, Göbekli Teki, whatever. I cannot pronounce all of them, but they are there to be reorganized, not reorganized, but revamped technologically, inserted with DNA, and reused in the future. These stargates are damaged, and they do need help, and they are being worked on now. There is only 2 of them that are functional at this point. The one in Stonehenge and the one in Mexico.
Thank you. So the Orion Stargate is 10,000 miles in, how to say that, a very large.
Yes.
Yes. So I work with a Stargate artificial structure that I use for amplification and connection to the Stargates. And I'm also connected to the Orion Stargate, working with that. And the Orions told me that when I work within this structure with the Lemurian crystals, it can also be used as a portal. Is this correct information?
Yes. The stargates are portals. When activated, they can do many things. They can send you from one place to another, on the planet or off the planet, depending on what different accesses are placed on them. There are different technological areas on the Stargate that can be manipulated to send you to Orion, Sirius, Fendoria, Earth, different places. Also, it's a communication device. Also, it's a it can be used as a transfer item, or what is the word I'm looking for? It can create matter, and so therefore you can manipulate it to make things, such as information, or I am tongue-tied here. Technologies from other places that are necessary for that moment.
So thank you for that. I have 3 crystals here that I think are Lemurian, and they are here in front of me. A larger one and 2 ones that are from the I got from a shaman, that are from the Andes.
Yes, they are Lemurian.
And do they contain information that is helpful for me to work with within my groups, or is this more containing universal information?
You have gleaned some of the information from the ones from the Andes. They have actually helped you to understand and give information to others. Some of this information comes when you are meditating, and it will come to you that way, into the subconscious, then into the consciousness. So your Lemurian crystals are definitely working for you.
Okay, thank you so much for this information. And for would it be possible to invite you within my groups sometimes for channeling or for working with us energetically?
If you would wish me to come, invite me and I will try to be there. Yes.
Can you please tell your name once again? Because I wrote it down and I think I have it wrong.
How would you pronounce it?
I've written it down as Srajen. Srajen.
Well, that's close enough.
Okay.
Srajen. It's Srajen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, there's a question. Safira, did you want to ask your question?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello. I have wondering if you have approached the Council of 13 about the whereabouts of your Lemurian crystal skull.
We have not approached anyone about this. It is sort of our own mission. If the time runs short and we need to start a information route, we will do so.
Okay. Are you aware of the Council of 13?
We are aware of many councils, yes.
Okay. I'm also guardian to one of the skulls, but it's not in my possession. So maybe you can meet me astrally, and because I don't know consciously, you can ask me, and maybe it is one that you're looking for. Just an offer.
What does your skull look like?
I don't know. I know the number of it, but I don't know what it looks like.
How do you know that you have possession of it then?
Because I'm in the Council of 13, and I have a specific skull they have named it, given it a specific number, I know
Ah,
somewhat of the whereabouts of where it might be, but I'm not so spiritually advanced in my senses to have seen it in my dreams or in my mind's eye.
very well. Understood.
Okay. So if you would like to meet me in astral, we can talk more about it if you want to.
Very well.
Oh, okay. The other one is how do you plan to collect the Lemurian crystals once you find the ones you really need connecting to the discs?
There are ways for us to collect them very easily. It is by technology.
Okay,
The
so
Lemurian crystals are all related, just
Mhm.
like all families are related. They will come together, they will recognize one another and form into their original formation. There are several different seven different Lemurian crystals that will become there are millions of Lemurian crystals, but they will form into 7 large Lemurian crystals, the ones that we need for the holographic disc.
I see. So if I had one in my possession, which looked to me like it had a lot of information, which was universal, and I laid it down on my table and I offered for you to take it, would you be able to take it like that?
They will be gathered whether you lay it out or not.
Okay, I'm just trying to get an image here of it, but anyway, okay. One last question here. Do you look like Adamus, who is also Lemurian and lives dimensionally under the earth with the long blonde hair and the tall personage? Is that what? Are you related at all? Do you live in the same area when you're here?
No.
Okay. Are you aware of who he is?
I am. We
Do
are
you-
not connected.
Okay. Do you look like him though? I'm trying to get an image what you look like.
I look similar to him in the face, but because we are similar, because we are the same species.
Mhm.
But other than that, there is no similarity.
Oh. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. There's a question from Lilypad. Go ahead, Lilypad.
Hello, sorry again, me again. I have a question about the. I sleep with two crystals. One is the rose, but the other one is I believe is the Lemurian. But I think that's the one. Probably they give me the 7 for whatever reason, that number. And are they talk? Which one is talking to me? Because sometimes I feel like they talking to me
The
when
rose quartz will speak to your heart. The other crystal will speak to your mind.
Okay. And can I use the Lemurian for healing, or it's 2 different things?
Healing can be done with all crystals. Crystals of all kinds will hold some healing energies because it will emphasize and enlarge the effectiveness of human healing.
Okay. And do I need to clean them, or they clean themselves? I was told that stones or crystals, they are like a great computer. Well, they have information, but do I have to clean them, or if they, I don't know?
To keep them fresh and vital, you can stick them either in the sunlight or the moonlight.
Sunlight. All right. Thank
because
you.
the moonlight is a reflection of the sun.
Okay. Oh, all right. And now I have are you located in Friendship Island, underneath the Friendship Island?
I do not know where that is.
Oh, okay.
We are on the Pacific coast.
Okay.
In the Far East.
All right. Okay. Well, and how can I connect with what advice would you give me to connect with the crystals, or well, Lemurian or the rose? That's the one I think I feel like I keep it in my bed with me asleep every night.
That is good, because they will affect, yes,
sorry?
they will affect you.
Okay, because I feel like they kind of talking, and last time they say like, get close to me or something like that. I know it sounds silly, but it's true.
No, that is true. They will probably ask you to be close.
Yeah, they're asking me to move the bed. The others, I'm like, okay, I'm just, I don't, yeah. Thank you so much. Can you please help me to connect with the crystal? I want to connect more with them. I don't know how to use it, but I just feel like I need to be close to them for some reason. And I like, if you can help me for that, that would be great. Thank you so much, Shrejan. Is that right?
It's all right.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Don, do you want to read the questions from YouTube or not?
Yes, I can do that. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Go ahead. We have questions from YouTube, Sharshan.
Okay. Okay, I have a few. I'm just going to just randomly pick these. Okay, this is from Michael Fromson. The crystal, there is a crystal called the Arc crystal, developed by Nassim Haramein. Are you familiar with it?
Vaguely, yes.
Can you explain about this crystal, please?
It is a created crystal, but yet it still does the same thing as a crystal would do. It gathers information. It can actually gather it rather quickly, since it is synthetic in some ways. And it will be of notoriety later.
Okay, and next question is from Krellick. What are psychic abilities at their core? Can you give an elementary explanation for how telekinesis works?
Telekinesis is an opening of a place in the brain that controls power release from the brain. It is not open in humans because it is not able to be controlled. The thing is, every human has a place in the brain that when they evolve to a certain level, they will be able to open this telekinetic area. But at this time, it is dangerous to do so. You would not know exactly how to control it. It would be like waking up or going to sleep. It would automatically do the things that you would think of and want it to do. Telekinesis needs control. Telekinesis needs boundaries. And so if you open up this area in humans, things would be flying all over the place and people would be harmed, and you yourself would probably be destroyed by your own thought processes.
Thank you. Okay, the next question was from, MS Snow asks, do those who can get the messages from the Lemurian crystals have a specific purpose related to Lemuria?
Not necessary. Lemurian crystals can give information to anyone who is wanting to find the information within the crystal. It will not give you the universal information, but if there is personal information for that person, it will give it. Let me explain something else about that. Sometimes information for individuals is very generic or general. This is information that is gladly and generously given, but it is always of wisdom, and it always connects to the person that is holding the crystal.
Thank you. The next question I have is Ace Sand. Where did Lemurian people come from?
We are not from this planet. We came with or shortly after the Atlanteans came here. We were of species of very interesting. I cannot tell you exactly where in your universe from here. I cannot locate it at this second. But we are not from this world, and we do a lot of moving around in the universe. We have many civilizations in many planets. But this one is especially interesting because it is now in a place of great growth and of great enlightenment. And so we are waiting to see what happens with this particular world, as it is prophesied to be a great place, but yet we do not see that quite yet.
Mhm. Okay, my next question is from MS Snow again. Why do the Lemurian crystals need protection?
Because of the information and because Toth wants them. Now, as Toth is trying to gather them, he does not know where they are. And they are all protected. And he has gathered some of them, but not enough to even be partially finished with the final disc. But they need protected because the information, if it were to be given to Toth, would be very harmful for the universe.
Okay, and the next question is from MS Snow again. Two of the Lemurian crystals I have been working with have changed color. They have become brighter and clearer than the other four. I am wondering if that is an indication of them becoming activated.
Yes, and they will have information for you. Please note that if they have changed color or they are activated in any way, this could be a great deal of power for you. The activation sequences for Lemurian crystals is not easy to come by. And if they are activated, this means they may be even being called by some of their counterparts. The information that is in these particular crystals may be very illuminating to you before they leave you.
Thank you. That's, I believe, all the questions I have for the moment. I'll return control to Karen, and I thank you very much for talking with us. Blessings.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Joan had a question. Joan, did you want to ask yourself? She wrote them down, but you can ask yourself if you like, if you unmute. Joan.
Hi. Hi.
Greetings.
Greetings. I have a question about the crystals that I had dream about. And I dream about like a human crystals. Like I'm not sure if it's a crystal. It's like a human clear, and I was fighting with them. Can you enlighten me about that, or if there's any human-like crystal?
I wasn't sure what you said. What was the question?
If there's any human-like crystals, like it's like human form.
Oh, crystals in a human form?
Yes, because I dream about it, and I was fighting with them.
There are crystalline beings. They evolved to this crystalline. They started off as crystals and became activated by other species, given life by other species. They do have energy of their own and always have, but this energy was put into a life force, and they used plasma and other different things from the universe to activate these crystals into beings. And the information that the crystalline beings have is always being collected because, as I said, the matrix can feed crystalline crystals. So they are getting constant information from the universe, both positive and negative. So there will be a point where these crystalline beings will be very peaceful.
I see. Okay. Am I one of the warriors that fighting with those crystal beings?
Yes, you are fighting with them because they have come up against different thought processes than those that the Earth and humans possess. They're very unemotional. They're like AI, but they are not AI. And so once they gather the information about emotions and are able to process it in a way that they can actually know what they are, they will become more friendly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. There's a question from Barbara. Go ahead, Barbara.
Hello, how are you doing?
Greetings.
Good. I have a rose quartz crystal, which I received from a lady in Arizona who is in possession of one of the 13 crystal skulls named Synergy. And the skull that I have, the rose quartz skull that I have, sat next to Synergy for like 7 years. Can you tell me what she said about this skull is true, that it sat next to Synergy for 7 years?
Is it a full-size skull?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
It's a full-size skull like your head. All right,
No.
and it is crystal.
Yes, it's rose quartz.
Rose quartz is the heart, a heart crystal. The heart crystal would be a very important crystal skull for the 13. It would be probably one of the main numbers on the crystal skull sequence. I do not know all the numbers of all the skulls or where they're all going. I know the number of the skull that I am looking for, the controller. But it is probably true what she told you about it. It has great energies. It's very healing. It has a lot of information within it, and it is a controller stone. Which information did she give you?
I'm sorry, say that last part again.
It's one of the controller stones.
She really didn't give me any information about it other than it sat next to Synergy for 7 years when she had it.
Oh, yes.
And that's all she said.
Well, that is fine. That is good. It does not matter what it's sat beside. It has its own meaning and own power and its own place in the 13 skull sequence.
Is there any information you can give me on how to work with it or process the information?
This stone, if it is the actual quartz skull, which there is supposedly one, it will be one of the main skulls it will be either at the 12, 6, 3, or 9 position. It will be a skull that has a great deal of healing energy in it, but it will also have a great deal of algorithms and a great deal of information for the workings of the star gates. It will also gather information when necessary, when the 13 stones are collected together.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You may use it as a healing stone,
yes.
But I doubt if you'll get much information out of it. Most of it is technological.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. There's a question from Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Hi.
Greetings.
Greetings. I had a question about, I've been trying to find an answer to this question. It's there's fifth dimensional elements that are attached to the third dimensional elements in your body. They're proteins, and sometimes they can be missing, and
Yes.
it will allow you to access, or when you are in the third dimension, to access the fifth dimension a lot easier. Can you explain anything on that?
This is part of natural DNA as you evolve. Every species has elements of the next higher density and dimension within their DNA format, such as you call it the fifth dimension. It could be the fourth dimension. I'm not sure exactly where you are in your actual evolution as an individual, but I can tell you that yes, there are within the DNA, there are places in between the sequence elements, such as, I won't go into talking about DNA in the technical term, but there is places in between the DNA called clouds. And in these clouds can be different kinds of missing or actual higher dimensional DNA, energies from outside of your realms, things that you cannot see that are causing reactions and growth within the mind or the body. And so therefore, yes, if there's actually connections to outer realms, you are able to connect with them because of things within your DNA. Now you are evolving. So as your evolution gets closer to this higher dimensions, it becomes more and more activated. It becomes more and more a part of the active part of your DNA, and becomes more and more part of the brain as a whole. Meaning that if you're collecting energies that are from this planet, and they are becoming higher quality energies, you're also gaining those in your brain and in your DNA. And so as they are being gathered, you are also connecting to their counterpart outside of this realm. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Does that answer your question, or do you need further explanation?
Well, I've had experiences where I can't really explain them. It's almost like where I would be kind of on this plane of dimension, and then have a shift, and then even the people around me would talk to me differently, like they were more their higher selves and like in a higher dimension. But
Right.
I don't see how like me shifting would shift them. I don't
Remember this. Dimensions and densities are different. So a dimension is mathematical. A density is vibrational. Your vibration changes as you move up through the densities. So as your vibration is changing, you may experience a different dimension mathematically. So therefore, as you are moving and your DNA is changing and becoming more attached to higher densities, it is also becoming a different kind of algorithm, a different kind of mathematical source, a different kind of scientific alignment. So therefore, your brain processes will also be different as you're moving into different densities from this density to the next. So as you are doing so, you will experience those things outside of your density and outside of this mathematical dimension.
Okay. And then are humans able to create stargates or portals to travel through? Because the same night I had another experience where it almost looked like a portal, but then on the other side, it looked like Egypt on the other side. I didn't have the courage to walk through, but
Well, you were experienced remote viewing, which is a gift in a spiritual realm, which means that you are able to create passage to another place and look at it. You could walk through, and then that would be by location, which means you would end up in another place than where you are at the moment, but you would still be in the place that you are and also in another place. So this is something that I would have to explain in depth to you how this is possible. You are actually creating a sort of a portal for yourself, but it is a gift of the gift of remote viewing and the gift of by location. Now, you do not create a Stargate. A Stargate is more a technological feat, and it can do many different things and move you from one place to another permanently. This would have been an actual temporary bilocation or remote viewing. In order to create an actual Stargate, it could actually move you from here to one other place in a permanent fashion, meaning that if you stepped through it or if it was activated, you would be gone from this place and go to another place. But it would not have been temporary. It would have been permanent until you decided to come back and step back through that Stargate or set the settings to come back to this place and come back permanently in the sense that you are here and you are not in another place. So, yes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Can you tell if I've embodied enough light or energy, higher dimensional energies in order to do that in the present moment?
Your photonic expression seems to be quite high. Remember this, enlightenment is an expression of your photons of the brain. The brain is actually becoming brighter and brighter and emitting more and more energy. As you become closer to this higher photonic emission, you will start to experience things outside of your realm, because what happens is you're connecting photonically to places that have a different kind of a resonance. Light travels quickly and can connect to different places. And so the brain does have a photonic expression, which is very mild at this time. However, as time moves on, mankind's photonic expression is getting greater and greater. So as you are moving forward, your enlightenment will be in such a way that you will be able to do more things through this photonic expression and through the brain activity than you once were able to.
Okay, thank you. Much
You're
love.
getting close, yes. But the very fact that you are able to move in such directions and see such things tells me that at least temporarily, your photonic expression was very high.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Much
Thank
love.
you. Thank you so much. There's a question from Angie. Go ahead, Angie.
Hi, greetings.
Greetings.
When if you do have a Lemurian crystal and it does have information in it, when is a good time? How do you know when it's time to receive the information from it?
That is a good question, because some people never receive the information from their crystals that they should have received. You must ask for this information. You must go to a source that is able to give you this information. Or if you're able to read this information on your own, I would go ahead and do that. If it's something you have to meditate about, then meditate on it. If it's something that you have to pray about, then pray about it. But there are ways to get the information out of the crystal, and sometimes it comes naturally if you are a high enough consciousness to be able to just extract it. And that is an energy feature. meaning that if your energy feature is high enough, I was talking about photonic expression just a moment ago. This is part of that in some ways. An energy feature is that your energy is able to go within and pull out. Also, you can do that photonically if you wish, but there are other ways to energetically pull information out of the Lemurian crystal.
Who would be a good source to speak to if you wanted to get the information and you couldn't get it yourself?
You have those beings around you to speak to that are from higher realms, from Maya. Speak to them.
Thank you. And when do we feel, when do you, do we just automatically say, okay, I think I'm ready? Or do we just say, you know, I mean, I'm asking, you know, like, is there a right time to receive the information? Is it can you do it too early, or, you know?
It will not come if you ask too early. It will just come in very generalized information. It will become much more specific when you ask it at the right time. Now, you can ask it more than once. So the first time you ask it may be general. The second time you ask it may be more specific.
Thank you very much. That answers my question. Much love to you.
You're welcome. Much love
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you. There's a question, Cher. I'm going to come to you, but I want to ask this question first. There's a very nice question from Krelek from YouTube, and he says, what prevented, and this is a very good question, what's prevented the Lemurians from returning to the surface after the downfall of Atlantis? Why not recolonize? How might the Earth have looked?
We realized that it wasn't our time. Let me put it this way. The very actions that the Earth took to remove us from its surface were telling us through prophecy that we were not meant to be on the surface at that time. And we are waiting for the prophecy and the actions of the Earth to tell us when to return. We are very big on the prophecies and scriptures of the universe. And so as that has occurred, that they have ejected us, basically, at this point, we will be welcomed back. And that is a promise that the scriptures have made. So we're waiting for that time, and we do not think that it will be far hence.
Okay, thank you very much. And Cher had a question. Go ahead, Cher. Cher? I think Cher's not here. And there he is. Cher, do you have a question? He had a question. It's just not asking. Okay, Don has a question. Go ahead, Don.
Thank you. Okay, I have a question from Marlene, and she has a crystal skull. It is 6 inches. I think she says 6 inches long and 3 inches wide. And she wanted to know what type of information does it contain?
There are many hundreds and thousands of smaller crystal skulls, and there are actually some duplicates of the larger skulls. But this particular skull that she has some information in it for her as well. She is in a place where she is able to gather some information from this skull, and it is willing to give it to her. The information that I can tell her right now is that there is a relationship that is outside of her realm that is interesting and will become a greater part of her life at some point in the future. But right now, do not focus on that as much as your mission in sharing the positivity, teachings, things that she has to offer. She is a healer, I believe.
Yes, I erred. It's not a crystal skull. It's just a crystal.
It's fine. I see it, what it is.
Okay. Okay, and I think did I get all the questions right here? Just a sec. Oh, she wants to know, what is its role with me?
Its role is to keep you energized, to keep you positive, to keep you moving forward. It has information at more than one point in your life. What I just gave you was from this point. There will be more information at 2 other points ahead.
Okay, and I do have one additional question in the chat that I'd just like to ask. This is from Ace Sand. How do you do remote viewing?
It is a gift of the spirit. Remote viewing is an opening of a part of the mind as well that is connected to energies outside of your world and within your DNA, also within the mind. It's 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional, whatever dimensional energy you want to call it, but you attach to it and it is able to send you somewhere to look at something for a reason. There has to be a purpose for it. There has to be an understanding for it. Sometimes that understanding is just to let you know that it exists, but most of the time, the understanding and the reason for remote viewing is to see something that is necessary for you to see, to grow, to be enlightened, to embellish your livelihood. And it will go along with by location.
Thank you.
Pray in your meditations that these things open, because it is with energy from the outside realms and within the DNA that these things can open places in the brain. That is the way it works. And as you become more advanced and more enlightened and more evolved, these things open.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Karen.
Okay, thank you. Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine. This is the last question.
Greetings and blessings. I have a question about the man-made crystal skulls. Like, it seems to be a great fad to have skulls
Yes.
from different. Do these have any special quality aside from the fact of the stone that it's created from?
In some cases, they do. Let me explain. Some of the people that are making these crystal skulls, or skulls from glass, or skulls from different essences, such as ebony, is that a word? Ebonite, or whatever. Yes, they do have some energies, and they do have some information in them. Because what happens is this: as you are creating a crystal skull, information is drawn from that individual who is actually making the crystal skull, because it is in the shape of a skull, and that the skull is, the brain is actually emitting information to the skull-like shape. And when it sees the skull, it sees that it's been created by the maker, and it will send some kinds of energies to it, and will also, with the belief of the creator, bring energies in from outside. Now, some of these skulls are made by manufacturers and not actually made or sculpted by humans, and so they will not have any power or interest to you.
So the stone that they're created from, like leopard jasper or ocean jasper, or
also hold information.
Okay, so they're more along the line of the stone quality itself.
Correct.
So the person who purchases it, let's say, can actually, just as if it were a crystal, a regular crystal or any stone, is that person who purchases it can tell it, this is what I'd like you to do, or this is what
you can repurpose.
Okay, thank you.
You can repurpose a stone. That is true. Keep in mind that a glass skull will have less information in it. It may have a little bit, but a glass skull is synthetic, basically. It's created, it was created. So it will have less purposeful information. It may have some still because it is, it has that shape and it has the ability to hold something, but it may not be very much.
Okay, only because for some reason I was attracted to collecting them from different
They can be vital, yes.
Yes.
Smaller ones as well as larger.
Yeah, so it's just those particular ones, man-made, then are really based on just as if we had the possession of the stone, like let's say an obsidian.
Correct.
What the user would like to use it for. It's to help.
Look up its natural use. That will be its strongest purpose, the natural use. But they can be repurposed, but I would use it for its natural use if that is a use to you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Blessings to you.
Okay,
Blessings to you.
Thank you so much. We're really at the top of our hour, and so we will have to end here. But we do appreciate you, Shushan, coming and being with us today.
You're welcome. I will go. Be well, prosper.
Thank you. Much love to you. Welcome back. Almost.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much. And thank you. That was wonderful. It went very fast today. Went very, very fast.
Oh, did?
Well, for us, maybe not.
Yeah, okay. Went fast for you today.
Fast it seems to. So I'm sitting in the dark. So I'm just kind of was holding my cat for a while. We'll end with a blessing. I know we have Yana, but before well, let's do the blessings first, and then we'll do the announcement at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yana, do you want to do your? I have to fix her thing here. 1 second. Een momentje. That means 1 minute in Dutch. Oh, she's gone. Is she gone?
Oh no, I'm here.
Where are you? Where did you go? Oh, there you are. You popped to the top when you. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Who's in the dark there? Who is that? Oh, that's Sultan. Okay. Sultan's sitting in the dark. So, all right.
Tiantea katanta tarike ke eteta. Harte ukanta yanakata. Urtene o quanta tanakatanie. Muite canta taya kanata e arteoa. Anteo canta tanaka e ai a hurtu. Ai o Meo quanta tanaka ai teoa hantoa katanaye.
Thank you. Okay.
Lift up your eyes and see that which is before you. Many of you are looking in so many different places for the truth, and it is right with you. Understand that you have much truth within you already, and that God is going to bring that light, truth to light, and make it aware within you, so that you may share it with the world and share it with all those around you. Lift up your hearts so that you know the joy of God, and let him be your light, and let him guide you the way that he wants you to go. There are many gifts for you to share, not just one, but all that you have.
Thank you. Okay. Angie has some announcements before we go. And if you want to do a blessing, Angie, that would be great as well.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you said that because yes, they're saying, please speak today. So
Okay.
I'll do a blessing.
Good for you. Okay, good. Okay.
Oso tukura ni ananda kuchichi, pekura ti manya korota a. Isano no kui shashandikata a, mora kutui amiani. A karota ti, mora sinking ti shantukuara keni, manahokura I amotokutu.
Thank you. Okay.
Reach out your hands and help those around you. Do not keep your heart so close to you, but let it flow out and let your love be seen and be an example to the entire world, for you are a bright light.
Perfect. So
All
for
right,
the announcements.
Announcements.
Mm.
The main one is the the online class, White Magic Level 1. It is next Saturday and next Sunday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are interested, please email classes@hucolo.org. I will get the information out to register for the class. The class is $150. I also wanted to mention, because we spent so much time today speaking about crystals and stones and rocks and things of that nature, if you're interested in having an online class about crystals and what their information is and how they can benefit, email classes @hucolo.org, and we will see if there's enough interest in that. Then Jim and I can look at that, maybe having that as one of our online classes as well. So information, classes@hucolo.org, and we hope to see everyone next week. We're really excited about everyone growing, learning, and expanding. Much love to you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, everybody. Love you much. Thank you for being here.
Bye.